Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for today's episode. It's one that I'm pretty excited about because we're going to be talking about jerkbaits, and more specifically, the two hottest jerkbaits that have hit the market in years. They're both pretty much brand new. Most people don't have them yet. Hopefully we'll have them come the end of the winter and pre-spawn period, because we all know that's jerkbait time. And I think both of these are going to be pretty good baits. But before I get into that, I do want to remind you guys that I've done a bunch of lake breakdowns for fishthemoment.com. If you live in the North Country, I'm doing northern lake breakdowns for both largemouth and smallmouth. And if you live in the South, I'll be doing lake breakdowns for smallmouth specific lakes. So if you live on like a Cherokee Lake or a Kentucky Lake, I'm doing lake breakdowns geared specifically towards fishing for smallmouth. I've got 35 to 40 lakes done at this point. So guys, head over to fishthemoment.com, check those out. And if you want to request a specific lake, throw it in the comments section. That'll move that lake up high up on my list to get done soon. So throw it in the comments section. All right, guys, I don't remember a time when there have been so many hot baits hitting the market. There are a lot of really cool baits that are coming out. And normally, each year there's one or two. This year there's like 10 or 15. And generally, those one or two baits that come out aren't in a competing category. But this year, we've got two really sought-after baits that are hitting the market in the jerkbait category. You know, one of them I have talked about already. It's the Berkley Stunna. It's been out now for, I don't know, a couple of months. They're still pretty hard to get, but they're starting to show up now in more places. Absolutely wonderful jerkbait. I was able to put them to work in the fall, caught a bunch of big smallmouth. Very impressed with it. The other one is one that I haven't talked about yet, but I did get in the fall and I played around with. And it's one that's won a bunch of awards, as the Stunna has won awards as well. This is the Shimano World Minnow. And it's got this flash body technology, I think they call it. As you can see, there's like a little piece of, I don't know what it is, like tinfoil or something that is on a spring, so it moves around in there. It's got a little bit of a weight transfer system that's a little bit different. Both of them are very nice, refined looking jerkbaits, come with extremely top-end hooks, just very high-end jerkbaits. So it's pretty cool to see a lot of the what were the existing jerkbaits that were out there, which was pretty much the Megabass vision, being challenged by a lot of other companies now with high-end products. The Stunna, you know, is one that, in my opinion, at this point, I am very comfortable throwing. You get very good depth out of it, and it's got really good slashing motion. That's what I love about it. For me, a jerkbait is not really about wiggle. It's more about slashing motion and how well it suspends. The Stunna does that to a T. It really is exactly what I'm looking for in a jerkbait. You can get it in a couple of different diving models. They've got a +1 version and the regular version. This is the deeper diving model, which on the right line, you can get down to 10 feet, which is very deep for a jerkbait. That's an impressive depth of reach. You're not going to do it on every cast, but you can get it down there. The World Minnow does not get as deep, and it's got a little bit different of a body shape. So you can see the profile is pretty similar. Length and everything, the width, the depth of the body is the same, but it is significantly wider when you can compare the two baits. The World Minnow's got a much wider frame, which gives it a little bit more wiggle, which, again, is not what I look for in a jerkbait. It doesn't mean that that's right or wrong, but for me, the wiggle isn't doing it because I'm imparting a quick slashing action with my rod tip versus kind of more of a pull motion, which is going to allow the wiggle to come into play. Now, I will say, I do like this flash body. I think that's pretty unique and pretty cool, but in the little bit I used it this fall, I can't say that it really performed extremely well for me. I did catch a couple of fish on it, but it wasn't, it was actually kind of a disappointment in the number of fish. I don't think that I get nearly as good a slashing motion out of it because the body is wider. And when you have a wider body, that displaces more water, making it harder to get that bait to slash side to side. You know, when I'm throwing the stunner, I actually feel like I'm almost throwing a soft jerk bait because it really slashes very, very far to both sides. When I say slash, I'm talking like several feet. Like you can really rip that thing, you know, from side to side and get it to walk the dog. This seemed like more of a straight, what I would consider more of a vertical diver that just kind of walked the dog in place. Now, there are times when you may prefer that. Again, it's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but I am still very intrigued in this. I do think that there is good potential for this bait, especially with that flash technology, because it is something that is so different. But again, I haven't seen it perform the way I want it to perform. But that doesn't mean that it won't work. So I guess, guys, what I'm looking for is some of your opinions. If you've thrown both these baits, I'd love to know what you think. I am very, very impressed with the build on both and how, you know, and just the overall technology that went into them. But at the moment, I personally feel like the Stunna is a better jerkbait for me. Doesn't mean that it's going to be better for you guys, but so far from what I've seen, I just don't get the same performance out of the World Minnow. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys have used both, throw a comment section as to which one you think is going to be better. Do we think that both of these are going to be around in a couple of years? You know, a lot of times a hot bait hits the market, takes the industry by storm, and then it's gone because it's found that it doesn't perform that well. I don't think you're going to see that with the Stunna by any means. I think you're going to see this be one of the top jerk baits that's around. I am not sold on this guy yet. I think the technology and the flashness is definitely appealing to the consumer, but that doesn't mean it's appealing to the fish. So I'm curious if you guys have had a lot of success with it. Let me know. I'd love to hear, you know, if you guys are whacking them on it or if you think it's kind of just a gimmick for the salesman as well. On the other hand, I know I'm going to have this guy tied on for sure. I don't know if I'm going to have this guy tied on quite yet. But guys, throw in the comment section. Let me know which one you think. The Shimano World Minnow, the Berkeley Stunna. Which one do you think will be around in 2 years? And which one do you think potentially could be a flop? I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Stay tuned. We got new videos coming out every day. Thanks for watching.